Norwegian fishermen talk about a race to catch herring and mackerel before they head west to British waters. Unfortunately, an indirect consequence of Brexit, the Minister of Fisheries answers. It has been a race to get the herring up while it's still in the Norwegian zone, says Per Royce. He is factory manager at Pelagia Kalvek in Sogn og Fjordane, where they receive and pack herring. Usually, fishermen have a window of 7 weeks to reach the quotas. This year, small and large was recorded in 3 weeks, says Royce. The background is the fisheries negotiations between Norway and the United Kingdom, which broke down in April. The consequence is that Norwegian and British fishermen can no longer enter the zones of each other. Norwegian fishermen cannot fish there, and British fishermen cannot fish in Norwegian waters. It's crazy, said Trevor Dadson in UK Fisheries to NRK. Since Brexit, it has therefore been our rock and roll in the fishing industry to pick up as much herring as possible before it runs off to British waters, says Royce. Where they used to be able to follow the fish over the border of the British waters, where he grew fatter, they now have to catch more and thinner fish on the Norwegian side. The size of the herring and resource biological conditions were used as an argument against Britain during the negotiations. The reasoning was that both countries have a mutual interest in the fishing not being concentrated in time. Gerhuse is Director of Research at the Institute of Marine Research. For the stocks, it is unfortunate with changes that cause the fishing pressure on young fish to increase because we harvested earlier in the life cycle, he says. And he adds, ideally, we should harvest the fish when availability and quality are the best possible, but this in many cases requires access to other countries. Minister of Fisheries and Seafood Odd Emil Ingebrigtsen confirms that fishing has shifted. Unfortunately, this is an indirect consequence of Brexit. Now the fishing fleet and the land industry must work well together to get the best possible result out of this special situation, he says. Knut Halvor Møgster is sales manager at the Norwegian Herring Sales Association. And he says that we do not have zone access creates an unfortunate situation for the catch of mackerel and North Sea herring. The mackerel is usually best in September, but this year the fishermen will have an incentive to take it up in August before it disappears over to the British side. To remedy this, 30% of the mackerel quotas for the deep sea fishing fleet have been retained until later in the year when the quality is better. We have regulated fishing with the aim of avoiding that too much mackerel is fished too early in the season. Everyone should be interested in hosting as much fish as possible when the mackerel is at its best, says the Minister of Fisheries. In the last 2 years, a large part of the Norwegian mackerel quota has been fished in the British zone, but the picture may change. In 2017, 70% of the mackerel came from the Norwegian zone. We are excited about what the mackerel season will be like. Of course, we want to catch it in the autumn, when the quality is best, says Kjell Ingebrigtsen, leader of the Norwegian Fishermen's Association. He hopes that the United Kingdom and Norway will come to an agreement so that the summer of 2021 will not be repeated. Audun Merek is a member of Fiskebet, the deep sea fishing fleet's organization. By the way, I don't speak any Norwegian, so don't mind my pronunciation of the names, please. This year the race is over, he says, and he adds, the fish knows no borders. We would be better off with an agreement, but cannot accept an agreement that is worse than the one we had. It is not Norway that has asked for Brexit. No, definitely it wasn't Norway. And I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.